Steve Tober with Joe Ligas and Cedar Grove, outstanding two-way lineman. And Joe, you're headed to the state championship game. What a great moment for you in your career and for Cedar Grove seniors.
We worked so hard to get here, man. It's just awesome feeling going there. We grew up together, and it was like my brothers right there. We've been playing together since we were in 6th grade, even before that. And it's just a great feeling to go end this on this field a great way and go out winners.
In the semifinals, a 46-7 victory over a Belividere team that came in at 9-0, but you guys were simply dominant tonight. You just went about your business against Belividere here tonight. Yeah, man, our coaches came up with a game plan, and they told us to stay focused and play hard, and you're going to come out winners with a big win, actually. And that's what we did. We played our hearts out and showed off. And how you look back a few weeks back, I know you don't like to remember too much. The only loss of the season to Orange. It seems unbelievable at this point, the way you guys played here tonight, but things happen. Just a game you have to put out of your memories and just go for a state championship. How do you put that game in perspective now?
It's hard to go look back at that game, but I think it was lack of focus that game. But we may have underestimated them a little bit, but we're not going to do it for sure the rest of the way. And we're going to come out with Seacaucus very hard, and we're going to come out with them with everything we have in all our hearts.
You're going up against Seacaucus in a final. They were certainly a worthy team at the BCSL. But your linemen, certainly yourself, Omar Urson, and Pagano, and defensively, again, a couple sacks. Freddie Gold putting pressure on. You've had a line that's done a nice, solid job this year. Maybe overlooked by your outstanding skill people, but the line has certainly hung in there this year.
Our line's been playing great all year. Just maybe a little underestimated, but we work hard in practice, and we come out there every week, and we're told to dominate the game. It starts with us up front.
And Joe, what's in your future? I'm sure you'd like to play college football. Any thoughts? 1AA, Division II, Division I. What's going on there?
I've been looking at a lot of schools. I'd like to go to Monmouth, Stony Brook, Hofstra, maybe a little Temple and UConn. And that's about it right now.
I know that Dennis McCarthy in the McCarthy Report rates you as one of the top players in Essex County, and certainly statewide, one of the top linemen. And keep up the great work. Best of luck in the finals, and a good job for you again tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Joe Ligas, outstanding lineman for Cedar Grove. Steve Tober with Coach Ed Sadloch of Cedar Grove, and the Panthers are headed to the state final, North 2 Group 1, after beating Belividere 46-7. And Coach, a complete performance tonight, absolutely dominant, especially in that first half when he just really drove on them at will.
Well, again, our coaches did a great job preparing our kids, and the kids responded to the game plan, and it's just a great group of kids. It's a pleasure working with these kids. It's going to be tough to walk off that field in 2 weeks and lose all these great kids, because they're simply fantastic.
You talk about your ground game. I was talking to Joe Ligas. Sometimes your line is overlooked with all your great skill people, but your line really efficient and put pressure on Belividere too. Their quarterback never had much time to work, and your line has been solid all year.
Yeah, both lines have been, offense and defensive lines have been really, really solid. And knock on wood, we've been injury free, and I think that's been a big key for us this year too.
Yeah, you talk about a Group 1 school, you can't have injuries. And Ed, looking back, I mean, it's amazing that you're not undefeated in a sense that you're such a strong Group 1 team, but you have to put that Orange game out of your mind, I guess. A game, certainly was a heartbreaking loss against a talented team, but one of those last-second defeats. And you just have to march forward, try to finish 11-1, and win a state championship. But how does that game, in perspective on the season, how does it stand?
It's over with. Our kids have forgot about it. We're on another roll right now, and it's one of those things. Like I told the kids, maybe we weren't meant to be undefeated. Maybe Cedar Grove is not ready for an undefeated team right now. But you know what? We're where we want to be. We've won our division. The kids have accomplished all their goals except the undefeated season. So right now, we got one more goal left, and we'll see what happens.
And, you had a couple impressive wins. You beat a Group 2 Caldwell team, a defending state champ, who's played very well since you beat them 29-0 here early in the season. And the Super Essex Conference, it's had its moments. I mean, for the small schools, the schedule certainly picked up for you guys.
Oh yeah, the intensity level. I mean, our kids have to come to play every week, and it's just a tough conference. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
And Ed, looking ahead, guys like Caggiano, Gogarty, Del Gurcio, Gonzalez tonight, tremendous, a couple of long touchdown runs. How about Will Gonzalez fitting into the game plan?
Well, it's funny that Will made his first start in the finals against Belividere down at Rutgers, and as a defensive player. And he's pretty much been in the shadow of Patsy Caggiano for the year now, because Patsy's the guy. He's been the guy for a couple of years. But, Will just had a great game today. I mean, there was a couple of more that he slipped. If he didn't slip, he probably could have had more yardage. I mean, he had a hell of a lot of yardage today.
You know, you don't know what you get in a state final. A couple of years ago, you beat a Belividere team 17-0, and you were underdogged in some people's minds going into that. Now you're going to go against a BCSL team, Secaucus, winning last we heard over Beckton. I mean, you don't really know what you get. They're a hard running team, Secaucus, if you play them. You know, you don't. When you step out of league, you never know what you're going to get.
No, you don't. You really don't. You know, we've watched them all year. You know, basically as best we could. We've seen them a couple of times. You know, obviously they're a good football team. If they're in the finals, obviously, you know, they deserve to be there. And you know, we just have to prepare. They have to still play a Thanksgiving game, but you know, we're fortunate. We have 2 weeks to prepare and get over the bumps and bruises and be ready to go.
And Ed, what about your staff? I mean, you've been here, has such success. Any thought of maybe, I know we're 2 weeks away, of maybe crowning your career with a championship in December? And
force me out?
No, it'll be a way to go out, perhaps.
Well, you know, again, I'm 61 years old, and you know, I've had a great career, and I've had great kids and great coaches with me. But you know what? I'm taking it one game at a time. You know, and I think there's a lot of rumors flying around. But you know what? We got to focus on whoever we're playing next in 2 weeks.
Well, one point to make, though, in football especially, and you see with teams that do well over the long haul, whether it's Mountain Lakes or New Providence or you guys, coaching staff, it's such a huge thing, and you have quite a group of assistants. Maybe people watching around the New Jersey don't realize how strong your staff is.
Well, we're very fortunate. You know, I've got a nice mix of old and young, and my younger guys are former players, and you know, they know what it takes. You know, most of these guys have been on state championship teams or been with us in successful years when we've been in the playoffs. And our older guys are just, you know, they've been around forever. I mean, you know, I couldn't fire them even if I wanted to. You know, but you know, it's just a great group of guys. They get along well together, and it's a nice blend. And you know, there's like no age gap, because the younger guys kind of close that age gap because they've been former players. So it's worked out well for us.
All right, Ed, we'll keep up the great work. Good luck in the North through Group 1 final. Tremendous one here tonight.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Take care.
Ed Sadloch, head coach of Cedar Grove, 46-7 over Belividere in the North through Group 1 semis, and headed to the state championship weekend. I'm Steve Tober.